This morning did not arrive by accident. You did not open your eyes because the alarm rang, or because your body decided it was time. You woke up because grace found you again. You woke up because breath was returned to your lungs, quietly, faithfully, without needing your permission. Before you formed a thought, before you reached for a whirring, before memory reminded you of what yesterday carried, God was already there, steady, present, unhurried, calling you back into the gift of another day. This moment right now is sacred, not because everything in your life is perfect, and not because you woke up without questions or concerns, but because waking up itself is a miracle we grow too familiar with. There are thousands who went to sleep last night with plans, with intentions, with prayers still unfinished, and they did not see this morning. Yet here you are, breathing, listening, awake. And even if your body feels tired, even if your heart feels heavy, even if your spirit feels quiet or uncertain, the simple truth remains: God woke you up today. That alone is reason enough for gratitude. The morning carries a special language. It speaks softly. It does not shout. It does not rush you. It invites you. Light stretches slowly across the sky, not all at once, but gently, as if heaven itself understands that waking requires patience. The same God who allowed the sun to rise gradually also understands your pace this morning. You are not late. You are not behind. You are exactly where mercy has placed you. If you listen closely, you can sense it, the stillness before the day fully begins, the quiet space before responsibilities demand your attention, the holy pause where nothing is required of you except presence. This is where gratitude is born, not from having everything figured out, but from recognizing that you were remembered, that while you slept, God did not forget you, that while the world turned and time moved forward, your life was preserved. There is something deeply humbling about realizing that waking up is not owed to us. It is given. Every morning is an undeserved invitation to begin again. Yesterday's mistakes did not disqualify you from today's mercy. Last night's worries did not cancel this morning's breath. Whatever you carried into sleep did not follow you into consciousness unless you brought it with you. And even then, God is not intimidated by it. This morning is not asking you to be strong yet. It is not demanding answers yet. It is not pressing you to perform. It is simply offering itself as a gift, a clean page, a quiet beginning, a reminder that you are still here, and that means purpose has not expired. Gratitude changes when we slow down enough to see that dot. You may not feel overflowing with joy right now. Gratitude does not require that. Sometimes gratitude begins as a whisper rather than a song. Sometimes it starts with honesty. God, I am tired, but thank you for waking me. Sometimes it sounds like surrender. I don't know what today holds, but I'm grateful I'm here to see it. Sometimes gratitude is simply acknowledging that despite everything you've been through, you are still breathing. And that is not small. This morning is evidence that God is still writing your story. If the chapter were over, you would not be awake to read this line. If your purpose had ended, your eyes would not have opened. If heaven were finished with you, this day would not have arrived with your name on it. Yet here you are. The quiet miracle of waking up often goes unnoticed because it happens so often. But repetition does not reduce its power. The heart that learns to thank God for waking up understands something deep. Life itself is the blessing, not just success, not just answers, not just breakthroughs. Life, breath, awareness, presence. There are people who would trade everything they own for one more morning, one more chance to say thank you, one more opportunity to begin again, one more sunrise to remind them that hope still exists. Today, you have that chance. Gratitude grounds us before the noise of the day tries to claim our attention, before the mind begins to race, before the body starts to hurry, before the weight of obligations presses in. Gratitude anchors us in truth. God is faithful, and His faithfulness reached you again today. The morning does not need you to rush past it. It invites you to notice the way light enters the room, the way your breath settles when you stop fighting the day ahead, the way peace feels when you remember that you did not wake up alone. God did not simply wake you up and walk away. He's here with you now, in this quiet beginning, in this unseen moment that may shape the rest of your day more than you realize. There is a gentle strength in starting the day with gratitude rather than anxiety. Gratitude shifts the posture of the heart. It reminds the soul that God has already been good before the day asks anything from you. It reframes your perspective so that whatever comes next is faced from a place of trust rather than fear. You may not yet see how today will unfold. You may not know what conversations you will have, what decisions you will face, or what emotions might rise. But gratitude steadies you. It reminds you that no matter what today brings, it begins with mercy. This morning is not random. It is intentional. God woke you up today because there is something ahead, something to learn, something to give, something to receive, something to become. Even if that something is simply rest, or healing, or clarity, or peace, it matters, and you matter. Gratitude does not deny hardship. It simply refuses to let hardship be the loudest voice. Gratitude says, even here, God has been faithful. Gratitude says, even now, I am not forgotten. Gratitude says, even today, grace has found me. As the day stretches before you, allow this truth to settle gently in your heart. Waking up is a blessing before it is a routine. Breath is a gift before it is expected. Today is sacred before it is busy. This introduction to your morning is not meant to rush you into prayer yet. It is meant to hold you, to remind you, to help you arrive fully present in this moment where God has already met. You are not waking up into chaos. You are waking up into care. You are waking up into mercy. You are waking up into purpose. And the most honest prayer for right now may simply be this: I'm so grateful, God, you woke me up today. That gratitude will become the foundation for everything that follows. Before the world fully claims your attention today, I want to speak gently to where you truly are, not where you think you should be, not where others assume you are, but where your heart actually woke up this morning. Some mornings we wake up light, rested, and hopeful. Other mornings we wake up already carrying weight. The body rises, but the heart lags behind. Thoughts arrive before peace does. Responsibilities line up before strength feels ready. And yet, even on those mornings, God still wakes us up. Especially on those mornings. Gratitude does not ignore how you feel. It meets you inside it. You may be listening to this with a quiet heaviness you cannot fully explain. Perhaps it is the accumulation of many days that demanded more than you felt able to give. Perhaps it is disappointment that did not leave when the night ended. Perhaps it is concern for someone you love, or uncertainty about what lies ahead. God is not asking you to pretend those things are not real. He's asking you to notice that they did not stop him from giving you another morning. There is something deeply personal about waking up. Sleep makes us vulnerable. We lay down control. We release awareness. And every morning, life is returned to us without negotiation. That alone tells you something about God's posture towards you. He's not waiting for you to get it right before sustaining you. He's not withholding breath until you prove worthiness. He gives first. He loves first. He restores first. That is why gratitude belongs at the beginning of the day, not the end. Some people wake up already negotiating with the day, calculating what might go wrong, replaying what went wrong before, bracing themselves emotionally as if the day is an opponent to survive rather than a gift to receive. But when gratitude leads, the heart softens, the soul remembers it is held, the mind slows down just enough to breathe again. You are allowed to begin today gently. You do not have to rush into strength. You do not have to force motivation. You do not have to have clarity yet. Gratitude does not demand clarity. It simply acknowledges reality. You are here, and God is with you. There are seasons where waking up feels like courage. Getting out of bed feels like an act of faith. Choosing to try again feels exhausting before it feels hopeful. If that is where you are, this message is not trying to push you forward. It is standing beside you, reminding you that the very fact you woke up means God is still working beneath the surface, even when you cannot see it yet. You may feel behind in life, behind your expectations, behind other people's timelines, behind where you thought you would be by now. Morning gratitude gently corrects that lie. It says you are not behind, you are alive. And being alive means God has not finished shaping your story. Some mornings bring quiet joy, others bring quiet endurance. Both are holy. Both are worthy of gratitude. Both are seen by God. Perhaps today you woke up thinking about what you have lost rather than what you have been given. Loss has a way of being loud in the morning. Empty spaces speak clearly when the day is still. But gratitude does not erase loss. It places it in a larger story. It reminds you that even after loss, God continues to sustain you. That even with grief, breath still arrives. That even with absence, presence remains. Gratitude does not minimize pain. It gives pain a place to rest. You are not required to feel grateful in an emotional sense before you choose gratitude as a posture. Sometimes gratitude is not a feeling. It is a decision made quietly in the heart. A decision to acknowledge that life, in its simplest form, is still flowing through you today. This morning connects you to every other morning God has already carried you through. There were days you thought you would not survive emotionally, days that felt endless, nights that felt heavy, and yet, somehow, here you are again. Not because you were strong every day, but because God was faithful every night. That faithfulness did not stop while you slept. Gratitude also reconnects you to your humanity. You are not a machine designed only to produce results. You are a soul meant to be nurtured. The morning invites you back into that truth before the world tries to measure your worth by productivity, performance, or outcomes. Before you do anything today, you are already valuable. Before you prove anything, you are already kept. Before you solve anything, you are already sustained. This is why gratitude is powerful. It realigns your identity before the day tries to redefine it. God waking you up today is not just about survival. It is about relationship. It is about presence. It is about God saying, in the quiet language of breath and awareness, I am still here with you. And maybe what you need most this morning is not a solution, but reassurance. Not answers, but nearness. Not instructions, but comfort. Gratitude opens the door to that nearness because it softens the heart enough to receive it. If you woke up tired, God sees that. If you woke up anxious, God understands that. If you woke up hopeful, God rejoices with you. If you woke up unsure, God is not alarmed. No matter how you woke up emotionally, the fact that you woke up physically is already a message of grace. Let this moment remind you that you are not walking into today alone. God is already ahead of you, behind you, and beside you. He woke you up not to abandon you to the day, but to walk with you through it. As we continue, allow this truth to settle deeper. Gratitude is not something you offer God once everything makes sense. It is something you offer Him because He woke you up before anything else had to. And from that place, everything else begins to change. There is a quiet wisdom hidden inside the simplest confession of faith. God woke me up today. It does not sound theological. It does not feel dramatic. It does not announce itself loudly. Yet it carries a depth that reshapes how a person understands life, time, purpose, and God Himself. To wake up is to be invited back into the unfolding story of your life. It is to be given access to another chapter without having to earn it. Many people treat waking up as a neutral event, something mechanical, something automatic. But spiritually speaking, waking up is never neutral. It is permission. It is allowance. It is continuation. When God wakes you up, He's not merely restarting your body. He's sustaining your existence. He's saying that your presence in the world still matters. He's saying that your life still has meaning, even if you cannot clearly see what that meaning is right now. This is where gratitude matures. It moves from surface-level thankfulness into spiritual awareness. Gratitude begins to ask deeper questions. Why does God give mornings so freely? Why does life continue even when people are confused, broken, uncertain, or weary? Why does mercy show up before improvement? Why does grace arrive before readiness? The answer reveals the heart of God. God is not transactional. He does not give life in exchange for performance. He gives life because He is life-giving. He sustains because sustaining is who He is. Morning is not a reward for yesterday. It is a declaration of God's nature today. Understanding this changes how you relate to God throughout the day. When you realize that waking up is grace, you stop approaching God as someone who is constantly measuring your worth. You begin to see Him as someone who is committed to you even when you are still becoming. Gratitude opens that understanding gently. It teaches the soul that God's goodness is not fragile. It does not disappear when you struggle. It does not retreat when you fail. It shows up consistently, often quietly, like the morning itself. Many people carry guilt into the day without noticing it. Guilt for not praying enough. Guilt for not being spiritually disciplined enough. Guilt for not being further along. Guilt for yesterday's words, choices, or omissions. But waking up confronts guilt with a deeper truth. God chose to sustain you anyway. This does not excuse growth. It establishes grace as the foundation for it. There is a profound difference between living from gratitude and living toward gratitude. Living toward gratitude says, I'll be thankful once things improve. Living from gratitude says, because I am alive today, improvement is still possible. The morning invites you into the second pasture. When gratitude leads, pressure loses its grip. Think about how often people rush into the day already feeling behind. Behind on goals, behind on responsibilities, behind on expectations. But gratitude resets the starting line. It says the day does not begin with what you owe the world. It begins with what God has already given you. This changes how you interpret everything else that happens. If a challenge arises, gratitude reminds you that the same God who woke you up is still present in the challenge. If uncertainty surfaces, gratitude reminds you that the future is not required to be clear for God to remain faithful. If fatigue lingers, gratitude reassures you that rest and strength are not earned, but supplied over time. The morning is a classroom. Even when it feels ordinary, it teaches you how God works, slowly, faithfully, without drama, without noise. Light does not rush the darkness away. It replaces it steadily. That is how God often works in the human heart. Gratitude trains your vision to notice this. Some people overlook mornings because they are focused on outcomes. They are scanning the day for productivity, results, success, or answers. But gratitude slows the soul down enough to see presence before progress. And presence is always more foundational than progress. You cannot grow spiritually if you never learn to be present with God in the ordinary. And waking up is the most ordinary miracle there is. When you begin to treat waking up as sacred, you stop postponing gratitude until life feels impressive. You learn to honor God in the unseen moments, the quiet moments, the unnoticed moments. This kind of gratitude reshapes your relationship with time. You stop racing through it. You begin to inhabit it. Morning gratitude also corrects a subtle but damaging belief that your worth is tied to what you accomplish today. When you wake up and acknowledge God before tasks, before titles, before outcomes, you are declaring that your value existed before productivity entered the picture. This is deeply freeing. God did not wake you up because He needed something from you. He woke you up because He wanted you alive. Everything else flows from that. This understanding softens how you treat yourself. It allows compassion to replace self-criticism. It creates room for patience. It allows growth to unfold rather than be forced. Gratitude reminds you that you are allowed to be human while being held by God. There is also a communal dimension to waking up that gratitude reveals. When you wake up, you are joining millions of other lives being sustained at the same time. Different stories, different struggles, different joys, same mercy, same breath, same God. Gratitude places you inside something larger than yourself without diminishing your individuality. It reminds you that your life is personal to God, yet connected to a greater story of grace unfolding across the world. This perspective prevents isolation. It gently whispers that you are not alone in your uncertainties, your questions, or your hopes. Others are waking up today needing grace just as much as you are, and God is meeting them just as faithfully. Morning gratitude also reshapes prayer itself. Instead of approaching God with a list of needs first. Gratitude teaches the soul to begin with recognition. Recognition that God is already present. Recognition that He has already acted by sustaining your life. Recognition that prayer is not an attempt to get God's attention, but a response to His ongoing care. When prayer begins with gratitude, it becomes relational rather than transactional. It becomes conversation over the negotiation. This matters deeply for how the rest of your day unfolds. A heart grounded in gratitude is less reactive, less anxious, less easily shaken, not because problems disappear, but because the foundation is secure. Gratitude anchors you in what is unchanging: God's faithfulness, God's presence, God's care. The morning becomes a threshold moment, a place where you choose how you will step into the day. Will you step in with fear or trust, with pressure or peace, with striving or surrender? Gratitude does not guarantee an easy day. It guarantees a grounded heart. There is also humility in morning gratitude. It reminds you that life is not self-generated. You did not will yourself awake. You did not sustain your organs through the night. You did not protect yourself from every unseen danger. Gratitude acknowledges dependence, and dependence is not weakness. It is truth. God does not ask you to be independent. He invites you to be aware. When you begin the day aware of God's sustaining power, you stop placing unrealistic expectations on yourself. You recognize that strength is received, not manufactured. Wisdom is given, not forced. Peace is cultivated, not demanded. This awareness shapes how you move through the hours ahead. It softens interactions. It deepens patience. It steadies reactions. It allows you to respond rather than react. Morning gratitude is not passive. It is quietly powerful. It influences how you speak, how you listen, how you interpret setbacks, how you celebrate small victories, how you endure long processes. It also reshapes hope. Hope no longer depends on ideal circumstances. It rests on a faithful God who continues to wake you up, one day at a time. You do not need to understand everything about your life to be grateful for today. You do not need certainty to offer thanks. You do not need answers to acknowledge grace. Waking up is enough to begin. This reflection is not meant to overwhelm you with meaning. It is meant to gently widen your perspective, to help you see that the ordinary act of waking up is already infused with divine intention. As you continue listening, let this truth settle deeper into your awareness. Gratitude is not something added to life. It is a way of seeing life as it truly is sustained, intentional, and held by God. Everything else we will pray about flows naturally from this foundation. Now let the pace of your heart slow even more. You do not need to move ahead yet. You do not need to reach for the next task, the next thought, or the next responsibility. This moment is a threshold, a gentle crossing from reflection into communion. You have been reminded of why this morning matters. Now you are being invited to step closer, not with effort, but with openness. Prayer does not begin when words start forming. It begins when the heart becomes willing to be present, right now. Nothing is required of you except honesty. You do not need polished language. You do not need perfect focus. You do not need to carry strength you do not feel yet. God is not asking you to arrive impressive. He's simply inviting you to arrive. The gratitude you have been sitting with becomes the doorway. It is the soft turning of the heart toward God. It is the quiet acknowledgement that before anything else happens today, you want to recognize the one who gave you this morning. Prayer grows naturally out of that posture. It does not force itself. It flows. As you prepare to pray, allow yourself to release the tension of trying to control the outcome of this day. You do not need to map every hour. You do not need to solve every problem in advance. You do not need to protect yourself from every possible disappointment. This moment is not about managing life. It is about meeting God. Let your breathing settle. Let your shoulders rest. Let the urgency that often follows you into the day loosen its grip. God is not rushed, and He is not anxious. He is fully present, and He is attentive to you right now. Prayer is not a performance for God. It is a conversation with Him. It is a space where you are allowed to be fully yourself without fear of judgment. Gratitude has already softened your heart. Now surrender can gently follow. Not surrender as defeat, but surrender as trust. Trust that the same God who woke you up is capable of carrying you through whatever this day holds. You are not about to pray to a distant presence. You are turning toward a God who has already been near all night long. The one who sustained your breath while you slept is listening now. The one who kept you through the unseen hours welcomes your voice in this visible moment. This transition is important because it teaches your soul how to move from awareness into relationship. Reflection becomes prayer when you allow it to. Gratitude becomes worship when you offer it back to God intentionally. Stillness becomes communion when you open your heart rather than filling the space with noise. Take a moment to notice how safe this space is. Nothing needs to be defended here. Nothing needs to be hidden. You are not being evaluated. You are being received. As we move into prayer, allow the truth of this morning to remain at the center. You are alive because God is faithful. You are awake because mercy continues. You are here because love has not let go of you. Let that truth guide the words that follow. Let it shape your surrender. Let it steady your requests. Let it deepen your trust. Now, with a calm heart and an open spirit, turn fully toward God. The prayer begins not with urgency, but with gratitude. Not with fear, but with awareness. Not with striving, but with trust. You are ready, Father God. This morning I come to you with a heart that wants to slow down long enough to truly see you. Before I ask for anything, before I speak about the day ahead, I choose to acknowledge who you are. You are the giver of life. You are the sustainer of breath. You are the one who watches over the night and ushers in the morning with quiet faithfulness. I praise you not because everything feels easy, but because you are good even when life is complex. I honor you not because I understand all your ways, but because I trust your heart. You are steady where I am uncertain. You are constant where my emotions shift. You are present where I sometimes feel alone. Thank you for the miracle of this morning. Thank you for the unseen work you did while I slept. Thank you for the way you held my body together, regulated my breath, and guarded my mind when I was unaware. Thank you for the simple gift of waking up, for the chance to open my eyes and realize that your mercy has not run out. You are worthy of gratitude not only for what you do, but for who you are. You are patient. You are compassionate. You are attentive. You are near. There is no distance between us right now. No barrier of performance or perfection. I praise you for being a God who draws close rather than pulling away. This morning I acknowledge that my life rests in your hands. Every heartbeat is sustained by you. Every moment ahead is already known by you. You are not surprised by my needs today, and you are not intimidated by my weaknesses. I praise you because you are strong where I am fragile, and gentle where I am tired. God, as this day begins, I bring my whole self to you, not just the parts that feel spiritual or put together, but also the parts that feel heavy, distracted, or unsure. I do not want to carry yesterday into today. If you are offering me something new, I release the weight of regret. I release the tension of self-criticism. I release the pressure to prove myself. If there are thoughts that do not serve your peace, I ask you to quiet them. If there are emotions that cloud my clarity, I ask you to gently settle them. Cleanse my heart of resentment I may not have realized I was carrying. Cleanse my mind of fear that tries to attach itself to the future. Cleanse my spirit of discouragement that whispers that progress is too slow or change is impossible. I surrender control over outcomes I cannot manage anyway. I surrender timelines I keep replaying. I surrender the illusion that everything depends on me. This morning, I choose trust over control. I choose openness over resistance. I choose to let you lead rather than rushing ahead alone. Search my heart and align it with truth. If there is anything within me that is weighing me down unnecessarily, I ask you to lift it. I want to begin this day lighter, freer, and more aware of your presence than of my worries. God, as this day unfolds, I ask for the strength I need for today, not strength borrowed from tomorrow. Help me meet each moment as it comes, rather than fearing what has not yet arrived. Where I feel weak, supply what is missing. Where I feel uncertain, guide my steps. If this day brings challenges, give me wisdom instead of frustration. If it brings waiting, give me patience instead of anxiety. If it brings opportunity, give me humility instead of pride. I ask you to order my thoughts so that I respond rather than react. Help me steward my energy well. Teach me when to move and when to rest, when to speak and when to listen, when to act and when to pause. Let your presence shape my pace, so I am not driven by urgency, but led by peace. If I face moments that test my faith, remind me that you woke me up today for a reason. If discouragement tries to rise, remind me that this morning itself is evidence of your faithfulness. If fear tries to speak louder than truth, anchor me again in gratitude. Today I declare that my life is held by God. I am not forgotten. I am not overlooked. I am not behind in a way that disqualifies me from grace. I am alive, and that means God is still at work in me and through me. I declare that I am allowed to grow at a human pace. I am allowed to learn. I am allowed to heal. I am allowed to rest. I am not defined by yesterday's struggles or tomorrow's uncertainties. I am defined by the care of a faithful God. I choose to walk into this day aware that I am accompanied. Wherever I go, God goes with me. Whatever I face, God is not absent from it. I am not navigating life on my own strength alone. God, I lift up the people connected to my life, those I live with, those I love, those I worry about, those I pray for quietly. I ask that your peace would rest over our homes, that kindness would shape our interactions, that patience would soften difficult moments. Watch over those who are tired, anxious, or burdened today. Strengthen those who feel overwhelmed. Comfort those who feel lonely. Provide for those who are unsure how things will work out. Let this day carry small moments of grace that remind them you are near. I ask for protection over my steps today. Protection not only from harm, but from unnecessary stress and distraction. Help me remain present, grounded, and aware of what truly matters. God, thank you for hearing this prayer. Thank you not because it was perfect, but because you are attentive. Thank you for waking me up today and for walking with me as this day unfolds. I place this morning, this day, and myself into your care. I trust you to meet me moment by moment. I choose gratitude as my foundation and trust as my pasture. As you move forward into this day, carry this truth with you gently, not as a burden to remember perfectly, but as a quiet assurance that stays with you even when your attention shifts. You are not stepping into today empty-handed. You are stepping into it already accompanied by grace. Whatever this day brings, it did not arrive before God. Nothing you will face today caught him unprepared. Nothing that will challenge you has more authority than the one who sustained you through the night. You woke up not by chance, but by care. And that care does not stop once the morning passes. There may be moments today when gratitude feels easy, moments when the light feels warm, when conversations flow, when the weight lifts just enough to let you breathe freely. In those moments, let gratitude rise naturally. Receive them as gentle affirmations that God is near. There may also be moments when gratitude feels quieter, when tasks pile up, when fatigue creeps back in, when patience is tested. In those moments, gratitude does not disappear. It simply becomes steadier. It reminds you that even in ordinary or difficult hours, God has not withdrawn His presence. You do not have to live this day perfectly for it to be meaningful. You do not have to make every right decision or say every right word. God's faithfulness to you is not fragile. It does not depend on flawless execution. It rests on His unchanging nature. When you feel yourself rushing, remember the morning that began in stillness. When your thoughts become scattered, remember the clarity that came from slowing down. When pressure tries to tell you that everything depends on you, remember that your day began with a gift you did not have to earn. You are allowed to pause throughout the day and return to gratitude. You are allowed to take a breath and remember why this day matters, not because of what you must accomplish, but because you are alive within it. If your strength fades later, let that be a cue to lean back into trust rather than pushing harder. If unexpected challenges arise, let gratitude ground you rather than discourage you. If the day unfolds differently than you imagined, let that difference remind you that God is still capable of working through change. This morning prayer is not meant to end when the words stop. It is meant to echo quietly in your awareness. It is meant to shape how you see small moments. It is meant to soften how you respond to tension. It is meant to remind you that waking up today was already an act of grace. You may not see all the reasons God woke you up today, and you do not need to. Some reasons reveal themselves slowly. Some remain unseen but still meaningful. What matters is that He did, and that His care is ongoing. As you step into the rest of this day, let gratitude remain your companion. Let it walk with you into conversations, decisions, and quiet moments alike. Let it remind you that life is still unfolding with purpose. Even when it feels ordinary. You are not forgotten today. You are not alone today. You are not without guidance today. You are awake. You are held. And you are loved. May this day unfold with gentle strength. May peace guard your heart. May clarity meet you where you need it. And may you carry this simple, powerful truth with you until the day comes to a close. God woke you up today, and that means hope is still alive. Go into this day with that assurance resting calmly within you.